Welcome back to Lion Impact Podcast. My name is Esteban Hernandez. This is the owner, founder, and CEO, Michael Idowu.
Yeah, and today, guys, we're going to give your ears something to eat on and something for your mind to digest.
So stay tuned. So what is a professional bill payer?
Right, so a professional bill payer is somebody who goes to work every single day, making someone else rich without looking after their own financial well-being or wealth. Right. So just going to work every single day, you're making someone else rich once again, but you're not making any plans for yourself.
So all you're doing is just staying in that vicious cycle of going to work, coming home, paying bills, eating food. Of course, everybody's daily activities, but at the end, you're not really gaining anything for yourself.
Absolutely. So you're simply a pro bill payer because other people are waiting for you to get your check so they can do what they want to do. So, and now there's two ways that this kind of happens. So let's say you have a boss, right?
Yeah.
And your supervisor hires you, and this is a terrible example, but one nonetheless. Let's say your supervisor hires you, employs you at a job, making about $10 an hour, right?
Okay.
For every $10 an hour you make, he makes $30 off of you, right? And let's say he hires about 50 of you guys.
Yeah.
So now, at $10 an hour, you thinking you're good, right? But every 10 you make, he makes 30, right? So he's actually pocketing about 20 off.
Yeah, he's making a profit.
He's making a profit, right? And you gladly work for this guy for 10 years, 20 years, doing two things, making him rich and building up his empire.
Correct.
Meanwhile, you don't do anything but take your money and then you give it to other people who are waiting for you to do what? Spend the money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody's having their hand out.
Absolutely. And so now you're a professional at what you do. If you've been doing it for 5 years, you're a pro.
Yeah.
You're a pro. So the second way that happens is, and I imagine with me, if you will, try to paint this picture. So you get paid, right? And everybody knows you get paid every week, every Friday, right? So you get paid on Friday and Uncle Sam yells to everyone, "Hey, Esteban's getting paid, guys. It's Friday."
Yeah.
So now I want you to imagine, if you will, there's a long line. And in this long line, everyone's lining up according to priorities. So you have your mortgage or rent, right? Light bill, insurance, etc. So everybody's trying to fight for who should be first. And they're trying to decide with one another, I'm the more important bill. No, I'm the more important bill.
Who's got top priority?
Who's got top priority? Now, Uncle Sam is standing there up front, and Uncle Sam actually gets your money. Yeah. He's giving you what's left over.
Yeah.
Right? So Uncle Sam sits there and he gives you the rest, right? And he's like, "All right, I'll see you next week, Hernandez. I'll see you next week." Esteban.
He already took his taxes.
He's already took his taxes, so he's good. So now you're on the other side, and now there's a line of bills and different ways for you to spend your money. And they've all got their hand out, right? And you've got your money, and you got to pay them one at a time. Yeah. Right? So it ranges from Walmart at the very front all the way down to H&M or where, movie theater or Chili's, wherever restaurant you go to. Exactly. And they're all waiting in line and they're doing this thinking, man, he's run out of money. I hope he can make it down here and give me a few bucks at least, right? Yeah. Because they want to get rich. They want to make money off of whom? You.
Yeah.
So once an individual understands that other people, and I'll tell you this quick story. There's a parking lot that I park at my job, and a few years back, the owner wanted to go to Las Vegas with his buddies. Now, this is before the little pandemic. He wanted to go to Vegas with his buddies, and I remember him saying he didn't want to spend his own money. Right, so we all parked there for about $30 to $40 every month, and a new month was coming, and he knew that, I have this parking lot and I have about 50, 60 people, but I'll just wait on them and I'll just take that money and go to Vegas. So he's waiting on me to get paid so he can go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's how painful that is. Yeah. Now, that's not his fault. He has established something so he can eat. He's already planted his seeds, right? So everybody has to understand that they've got to plant their seeds. So being a professional bill payer is, really just about giving other people your money. and them just waiting on you.
Yeah.
Well, I know Hernandez has got to eat, and I'm Walmart, so all I got to do is wait. He's coming. He can't say he's not going to eat.
Yeah, he's got to get his groceries in one day.
Yeah, he's got to get his groceries, and he's going to spend about $100, and everybody else in his family is going to come to me too. So this is guaranteed money for me.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I've established myself as a business, so therefore I can provide a service. You're not paid for the time; you're paid for your value. The more valuable you become to a company, the more they're going to pay you. Mm-hmm. The key here is not to waste that money, right? Mm-hmm. So whenever you have these people standing in your line, if you can cut H&M, the movies, just cut certain things out of that line, by the time you get to the end of the line, you might have a little bit of money left over, mm-hmm. right?
I like that what you were saying. You touched on that one topic right there where you said you have to make yourself valuable. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what that guy did. Mm-hmm. He had a parking lot. He knew that people needed to park somewhere.
Absolutely.
And what did he do? He upped the price.
Absolutely.
He can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, some of the ways to fix this problem mm-hmm. or a solution to fix the problem from keeping yourself a professional bill payer for the rest of your life would be, I'm not saying don't pay your bills. Right. Mm-hmm. There's just some bills that you can't avoid. You have to pay them. Yeah. But what I am saying is whenever you get to a certain stage, try to cut some of these people out of that line. Mm-hmm. And you have to make investing in yourself important. It has to be just as important as paying your bills because you can't sleep outside. Mm-hmm. So if you take it as, okay, I got to pay my bills because I can't sleep outside and I've got to make sure there's food in the refrigerator for me and my family, that's mm-hmm. important. The next thing should be, I have to invest in myself, right? So some ways to invest in yourself is, investing in stock, invest in some REITs, educate yourself on you may not know what that is. I didn't always know what certain things were, but we have YouTube.
Learn, yeah.
You have to learn, right? Yeah. You don't have anything else to do but to be a professional bill payer, right? So you might as well learn strategies and tactics. There's all type of information out there to help you
get out of that circle, that vicious cycle.
Absolutely. Jim Rohn talks about the 70, 10, 10, and 10, mm-hmm. which if I'm correct here, he talks about how 70% of your income should go to your necessities, things that you just have to take care of, rent, etc., your family, right? And then another 10% would go to a type of investment. So let's just say stock, right? Another 10% would go to maybe a plan of that little business plan that you might want to put together slowly, mm-hmm. right? And then the other 10% would go to like charity, if you will. Okay. Now, some people have to do. He'll talk about how some people have to do 97, 1, 1, and 1. It just depends on where your bill's at. I know everyone
everybody's circumstances are different.
Absolutely. Right? So everybody can't. Some guys can't do 70. Yeah. Some ladies can't do. The
majority there needs to go to rent and all their necessities.
Right. This is just a strategy to help you improve yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's really important.
That's different ways to get out of that vicious cycle, and it teaches you not to have to be a professional bill payer. Absolutely.
And, the next way you want to try to get out of the mindset of being a professional bill payer is by laying a brick. I talk about laying a brick all the time, right? So laying a brick has to do with when I get paid, mm-hmm. I go and buy a brick. This is now a metaphorical brick, not a literal brick, mm-hmm. but I'll lay a brick. See, because my reasoning is if I work for a company for 10 years and I lay a brick with each check that I get, if they pay me every week and I'm laying one brick 10 years every week, on year number 10 or 11, I'll be able to look at my employer and say, hey, listen, thank you for everything you've done for me, but I got my own little Roman empire here, got my own little thing going now. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. Peace. Right. It's really important to take some of your income mm-hmm. and look at some of that income like I have to invest in myself, mm-hmm. whether that's, buying a book and educating yourself on something. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I didn't always know what I wanted to do. Yeah. I was saving money and I didn't know what the money was for. Mm. But I love what Les Brown says. Les Brown talks about it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared.
That's so true. I like that.
So I was saving money and I didn't know what it was for at that moment. But as I started to investigate and get different ideas and read books and do this and do that and also look into myself, mm-hmm. it started to kind of open up like a flower for me. And then I was kind of like, okay, I think I can do this. And then I had the finances to push it.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't preparing myself and I just took my money and spent my money, well, once I would have that opportunity come to me,
where am I going to get the funds?
Financially, I can't push it.
Yeah.
Right. So I know a lot of people talk about how it's not good to save money, this and that. I think that you got to take that into the right context.
Correct. I agree with you.
So in this particular example, I think it's really important to save some of your money. You go out there now and invest $10 into, a company, and just play around with the idea. And from there, you'll catch fire and then you'll learn more and more. It's just about trying. It's about taking the right steps. It's really all about your mentality, your financial literacy. What do you know about money? What do you know? How does this thing work? Or does it, by the time it hits your pockets, is it hot and you're just trying to get it out of there as fast as possible? I can't wait to go buy these J's. I'm going to give all my money to Michael Jordan.
Right. And that's how a lot of people think. A lot of people don't know how to, manage money, especially, I don't know about you. I remember when I was growing up, 18 years old, I had my first job, man. I was spending money at the mall every week.
Absolutely.
I never once thought, let me start saving some of this, and trying to build my own Rome.
Absolutely. It's really important to plant seeds. Now, I'm not telling people now not to have fun. That's not what I'm saying. But at some point in your life, you got to look around and discipline yourself. You got to say, okay, look, I got to plant something. Absolutely. Yeah. So once you plant something, you're not going to eat that today, right? But when, 2022 rolls around, 2023 rolls around, you're going to wish you put something in the dirt, right? Something's going to grow out of there. So it's really important to lay a brick. Talk about this illustration I've put together.
Okay.
And pretty much it's the breakdown of what the Roman Empire is. And now we have two individuals. And let's call these individuals now. The guy to the right is going to be Jim. We'll call him Jim. Now the guy on the left, his name's going to be, I don't know, Johnny? We'll go with Johnny?
Yeah,
all right, Johnny. So we got Jim on the right. We got Johnny on the left. Now, Jim on the right, he has a job. Now, in the middle, you see that you have the Roman Empire. Now, the Roman Empire is where you work. That's at the right, at the very top. That's where you work. That's your place of work. Now, you're an employee for the Roman Empire. So you work for Caesar, essentially. Now, you work for money in exchange for time. So you're giving the Roman Empire your time, which is valuable. You can't get more of it in exchange for a profit. Now, Jim on the right, though, when he makes his money, he's got to give his money to his house, which might belong to the bank, as you see there at the right. And he's going to have to give his money to his car, which also might be owned by the bank, right? And then he's got to, if you got a partner, you got to be able to take care of your significant other, or, whoever else you may have in your household, grandma, etc.
Correct.
And then children don't eat stones, right? So
got to pay for them Happy Meals, man.
Right. So Jim now must keep this job. He has no choice because everything is dependent upon staying in the Roman Empire as an employee.
Correct.
So if you look here, underneath children and up, you've got future. His future and the future of his children and all the things that he has relies upon what again? It's all going in one direction, the Roman Empire. His well-being relies upon what? The Roman Empire. Once again, is where he works. His confidence at the end of the day, because if he loses his job, his confidence, well-being, and future are going to be destroyed, or definitely up for grabs. Yeah. Right? So all these things rely on one thing, his job. He is too dependent upon this place. If he loses his job, essentially, with the way this is displayed here, he loses his life. Yeah. We all have to have a job. We all have to work for the Roman Empire. But what I'm saying here is we don't want to be like Jim. We want to move over and be like Johnny over here.
So what you're saying is it's bad to structure your life around a job to where that's your only source of income. That's your way of living and surviving.
Absolutely. Because the job at any point in time can say what? Bye-bye.
You're fired.
You're gone, right? Yeah. It could be because the economy got hit and they just can't keep everybody. It could be because you've been calling into, it could be a number of things, right? Yeah. And you just have to ask yourself and evaluate yourself and ask honest questions to say, if they fired me today, am I in trouble? Yeah. We have to make an honest self-assessment here. If my job fires me tomorrow, Am I and my family, are we in trouble? Is the car going back? Is the house going back? Am I going to get kicked out of this apartment? Am I going to have to move back in with whoever?
Yeah, I think the answer for a lot of people is yes.
Yes, exactly. So now let's look at Johnny on the left-hand side over here.
Okay.
Right? Depending on where this is going to be sitting up on the screen. But Johnny on the other side, he's working, same company, the Roman Empire, but he's working for a limited time. Right. Whereas Jim over here is working. He has no time limit as far. He's going to work until he drops or they get rid of him. Right. Which makes him what? A professional bill payer.
Correct.
Nothing else. Right. And he's a professional bill payer to whom? The bank, the bank who made the car company, the dealership. Right. He's a slave to these things. And it's a cycle which he or she can't get out of. On the other side, though, Jim, I think we named him. Johnny was John. Okay. Johnny that we've named him. He's working for the same empire, but for a limited time. So what is he getting out of the Roman Empire? He's getting money and he's getting ideas, because while he's there, he's paying attention. How does this business work? I see my management. How do they behave? What are they doing? What does it take to run this company? He's taking in information as much as he can because he knows I don't want to do this forever. And I also know they can cut the strings to me at whenever they want.
At any point.
So I have to take as much information as I can, and I have to utilize my money to the best of my ability. So Johnny over here, he gets his money and he starts to invest in a plan A, right? Or a plan period, right? And that plan could be anything, it could be a lemonade stand. It could be, anything, right? And if you don't know what you want to do at this point, which is fair, a lot of people don't know what they want to do. Save, prepare for an opportunity that will one day come to you, right? So when he invests in a plan, invest in stock, invest in whatever business plan, he's able to over time use that plan A to provide for his family, right? His kids, his partner, his home, his car, and the bank. So he's using another company to pay for his way of living, right? As he starts to use more of that money to invest in that plan A, and that plan A grows, well, let's say that he opens up another one to the left here, which is an investment, right? So that one has 3 pillars, right? He's going to grow. The more you're saving your money, the more you acquire this information from the Roman Empire, you can start to now kind of replicate what you're seeing at work by asking the right questions. Hey, where do I need to go? Even if it takes going down, you have to be able to do whatever it takes to become successful, of whatever your opinion of success is.
And I even think, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I even think it even goes deeper than that. I think, it's simpler than that. I think it's simply planning for your future.
Absolutely.
That's what it basically boils down to.
It's so easy, but it's easy not to do.
Of course.
And that's the problem. It's so easy, but it's also easy just to be like, yeah, whatever, and let it go. And then 10 years goes by and you're like, what happened? What happened was nothing. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
You were playing around is what happened.
Right. Or you just thought that, I'd have time. A lot of people have a bunch of different reasons as to why they do certain things.
Procrastination.
And that's a big one. So in this example here, and I like to talk about success as a very, we'll use success as a very beautiful woman, right? So success is a very beautiful woman and she knows her worth. Therefore, she demands all your time, all your strength, and energy, because she understands I can change your life, but you're going to have to give me all of you. Yeah. So before you marry me and get me pregnant, I need to know you're committed to success. Yeah. So that means you may have a legitimate reason as to why you don't do a particular thing. You might, I couldn't go here because, my dad, had to go do this and I,
Success isn't going to wait for you.
Success doesn't care about legitimate excuses. Now I say legitimate excuses because they're actually good excuses. Success just doesn't care. It doesn't care. All it wants is for you to be there when it asks you to be there, because she understands. I will turn your life around and give you everything you want, everything you've ever dreamed of. Yeah. But I need your attention. And I need all of it, 100% of it. I need 200% of it. And at all times. 2:00 in the morning? Yes. 4:00 in the morning? Yep, I need that too. A lot of people aren't willing to do that. And even myself, it's a challenge for me too, to discipline myself and say, all right, I got to do this. I can't get distracted. I got to stay disciplined because I have to be able to put in what I want for the future, right?
So that you can get your ultimate freedom.
Absolutely. So looking down now, if you're able to move over to, if you look at point where it says plan A, you look over to the next door, you've got 4 pillars here and it says the empire. If you work for the Roman Empire for 10 years, 15 years, and you plan and put your money in the right places, you might not have an empire as big as the one in which you worked for. But if they decide to let you go, or you decide I'm tired of this, which a lot of people are always tired,
Of course.
you'll have something. You'll have your own Roman Empire. You'll be able to tell Caesar, hey, Caesar, thank you for everything you've done for me. I appreciate the opportunity, but I got my own little thing going here and, I got to go. Bye.
I'm gonna walk away.
Right. And at that point, you have hit freedom. Right. So down below, we've got living your life on your terms or living by someone else's terms. You're going to be on
one of those sides,
whether you like it or not.
Of course.
You're either going to live on someone else's terms or you're going to live by your own. And we all have to start from somewhere.
Of course.
And those are humble beginnings. But the key should be, I want to do what I can and learn as much as I can and try to get to the next step so I can be independent and live the life that I want to live. Big Sean says that you can only measure success and happiness.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to be happy clocking in, doing this 9 to 5 with people that you hate. Supervisor, you feel like you got no business being your supervisor. I mean, really, man, Les Brown talks about how most people suffer their first heart attack between Monday morning from 9 a.m. to a certain time, going to jobs that they hate. A lot of people hate their situation, but if you hate your situation, you have to change your situation. And I know it's not easy because you might have a family that is leaning on this income. Well, if you got to be there, then do extra. So that means, during your breaks, read up on something. Don't just sit there and talk to your coworkers about, whatever you saw. Whatever you saw on TMZ. Try to do something to say, I don't like my position. I don't like where I'm at, and I'm prepared to do something about it. It's a lonely business, I think, but it's also a business that when you're at that table of success, you'll be eating by yourself.
Oh, yeah. Well said. All right. And that's going to be it for us on Lion Impact Podcast. I appreciate y'all watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all our pages, Instagram, Facebook. And we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.